I've been talking a lot lately about creating a sense of urgency in your work as a leader, particularly as it relates to growing significant giving. How can we create a greater sense of momentum and motivation and urgency to move forward and get off the dime and have some progress? How do you go from not having any meetings face to face to some meetings face to face? How do you go from having zero pledges for your future, zero long-term commitments, to some? How do you go from growing to the next level of giving? And I want to give you some very specific, actionable things that will really flip the switch for you if you will do them. But I want to point out why this is an issue and why I'm trying to speak into this and share this with other people. And that is, as we work with leaders, one of the things that we see that's quite a phenomenon is as leaders realize that they now know how to do something better, or they now know what to do to move forward and grow significant giving, they realize that they have a whole other set of challenges. And that is that it's not enough to just know what to do. You've got to do it. It's not just being willing to do it. You have to actually do it. You have to execute. And execution often is just about defending yourself from the things that will interfere with getting the right things done. So I want to give you some very specific tactical things that you can do to create that sense of urgency that will propel you forward this week. Okay, so first of all, I want you to imagine right now, imagine in your organization if you were facing a projected 30% drop in giving, 30% drop in enrollment, 30% drop of the numbers of people that you're serving, 30% drop in revenue. Okay, imagine, whichever of those could be relevant to you, imagine that massive a hit being projected in this 12-month period ahead. And if you can imagine that, what you're doing is you're putting yourself in the shoes of someone who was in leadership in 2008, 2009, when we faced the worst economic crisis since Great Depression. Now, what I'm finding is many leaders in leadership roles today were not in leadership roles at that time. And so they may have heard about it, they may have been aware of it, obviously, but they weren't necessarily the woman with all the responsibility or the man with all the responsibility to deal with those fears and projections and the reality that these were the kind of numbers that we were facing. So what I'd like for you to do is give yourself permission to, in your mind, and even close your eyes if you have to, I want you to imagine, I want you to picture yourself, put yourself literally there in your mind. Imagine, what would you be feeling? What would you be saying? What would you be focusing on? What would you have to stop doing to adjust and pivot to that kind of priority? An even more dramatic example would be, imagine if you had to raise your goal. You had to see your goal achieved in giving, but your child's life depends upon it. Now, I know this is going to cause some stress and anxiety, but stress and anxiety in the life of a leader isn't always unhealthy. Go ahead and put yourself there in your mind, and that will help you imagine what your work would look like this week if that was actually reality. We have this amazing ability as leaders to put ourselves into these situations in our mind first, before ever having to face that as a reality. I hope we never see a time like that again. The reality is we probably will. Go ahead and put yourself there now and take some actions accordingly, rather than operating in the environment which many of us are right now, which is, wow, things are amazing, giving is strong, our program is strong, our finances are strong. Even if they're not strong, they're better than they were in 2008 and 2019. The second thing I want to challenge you to do is just do the first thing that moves you forward. Don't think about, how do I schedule 20 meetings right now, or how do I schedule the next 6 weeks of meetings, although I want to get you there eventually. Go ahead and just do the first thing. Schedule one meeting, make one phone call, send one email. And what you'll find is that win, that success, propels you to the next one, the next one. Have one meeting, ask one person for a pledge, ask one person to grow their giving, and you're going to realize as soon as you do, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm energized, I'm motivated. This motivation is following me rather than me waiting for the energy and the time and the attention to do this, okay? The third thing that you can do is think about what you are hoping to achieve in the next 12 months as a goal. Okay, what is your goal in the next 12 months? What would you like to see happen in terms of giving in the next 12 months? And make that your goal in 1 month, okay? Now, I don't mean publicly state this as your goal, but imagine and put down on paper, this is no longer a 12-month goal. I'm going to do this in 1 month. Exactly how would you use your time? Who would you meet with? Who would you call? How would you communicate? What would you do specifically if your goal was, instead of a 12-month goal, it's a 1-month goal? Okay, that will help you define an action plan, a to-do list, if you will, that is 1,000 times more motivated and energized than thinking in terms of how are we doing on our 12-month goal, okay? And then the last thing, the fourth thing I want to challenge you to do is I want you to apply your faith. I want you to apply your faith to the results, okay? All that I have just shared with you, you can control. You can control what you think. You can control your action plan. You can control how you use your time. What you can't control is the results that are going to come. So I want you to apply your faith to the results and say, Lord, I am committing this energy, this plan, this step. I'm going to take that first action, or I'm going to create a sense of urgency just as if I was in a crisis, or I'm going to move our 12-month goal to a 1-month goal so I have a defined action plan. But Lord, I'm going to apply my faith as I commit this time, as I commit this energy and focus. I'm trusting you to use it in a profound way, in a way that I can't plan, that I can't anticipate. Okay? If you will do the things that I just outlined in this video, it's going to move you to a higher level of results. It's going to move you to a higher level of momentum. And I know you're going to realize deep down, you're going to have this internal sense of, this is what I'm supposed to be doing more of. And I'm no longer being victimized by this world that's conspiring against me moving forward. Okay? I want to hear from you. When you have that feeling, when you have that emotion, when you have that success, I want to hear from you, okay? I hope this really has equipped you and challenged you today to get moving, okay? It's time.